last week was an amazing show. We loved all the feedback. I was in the chat listening, or should I say, watching all the comments. So we just greatly appreciate that. We're here on a Friday night. We got some hot stuff to talk about. I'm gonna kick it off in just a few minutes. I throw it to Fade, and then Dante.
What's going on, everybody? Fabe here. I am actually here. I am having technical difficulties with my camera. For some reason, my computer doesn't want to recognize it. But, anyways, the show goes on. Thank you guys for tuning in with us, hanging out with us on another Friday for the episode. Make sure you guys stay tuned for throughout the whole show. As at the last segment, we have just for you guys. It's called Deep Thought. It's where we take your guys' questions, comments, feedback, whatever it is, throw it in chat, and we'll give you our deep thought. Coach DP.
Yo, it's Coach Parker in the building, man. Appreciate you guys jumping on this live, man. We about to turn up real quick. Man, so stay tuned, man. Back to drill. Let's go.
Already. So we already know the beginning of each episode. I come to you with what we call our fresh thought segment of the show. So I'm not going to go off on anybody. I'm here to applaud some people today. And what I got to talk about is Cam Newton, my man, Killer Cam. Babe, not your Killer Cam, the Killer Cam play football. Um, and the New England Patriots. Listen, right?
Hey,
So everybody said what they had to say about Cam Newton last year and da 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 da. And Cam said and did what I would say would be the right things all year long, wanting to get better. And he came out on a radio show this week. I believe it was this week, talking about how he'd be open to even going back to the Patriots on a 1 year deal. Well, that's what they gave him, a 1 year team friendly deal, um, incentive laden deal, which I'm okay with. But let's talk about it though. The New England Patriots, right? They have $64 million in cap room. Cam Newton is going to be going into his second season. He's going to get a full off season. The Patriots are getting ready to get back the five guys who opted out. Bill Belichick's hungry. I'm not saying that Cam may start the whole year, um, but my personal belief is that's what it is. Bill Belichick is betting on him to be the game changer that he showed in the first week, in the second week prior to COVID. So let's go, Cam. Let's go, Patriots. It's on and popping.
stop the madness. Stop the madness.
If you say so.
Man, I told y'all what was gonna happen last year before the season started. What was gonna happen with the Patriots, and exactly what I said happened. Good luck. Good luck, Patriots.
So you
You got
say,
Bill. You got Bill Belichick trying to run the show. Good luck. His dog ran away from home, and he don't know what to do. Good luck.
hey, I'm telling you, it's about to be on. It's about to be on.
Well, let's get into this. So our first topic, we had to talk about this. Um, so Dak Prescott got his money. Jarrell, can you please tell the people what his contract is since you're a Cowboy fan? How much money they gave that man?
160 million.
Hey, this is how this
66, 66 of it at signing, 75 million within the first year.
man. You look like you the way you looking right now is how you look the whole season with the Cowboys. Just disgusted. Um, but so the interesting thing is he got his money, but Jerry Jones came out and said some very interesting things, and I wanted to get y'all opinion on what he said and how you feel about him getting paid. So basically, I'm gonna sum it up. Jerry Jones basically came out and saying, "Hey, you know, this guy basically took advantage of me financially. Basically, he got bamboozled, but all the deals that were worth doing, he had to overspend. So my question is, did Jerry overspend for one, and was that a slap in the face to Dak Prescott when he made that comment?
Nope. Hey, listen. I told y'all before, there's only a few players that I would say is worth that kind of money. And the other thing that we got to look at is you got to look at what's on the side of the helmet, right? So when I view the Dallas Cowboys, it takes a lot for you as a player to be bigger than the star on that helmet. And in Dak Prescott's case, the star on that helmet is bigger than him. Now, it's no disrespect to his game, it's no disrespect to his talent. The only thing it goes to is majority of the quarterbacks outside of maybe an Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady, a Patrick Mahomes, even Drew Brees, outside of maybe five guys, it's very hard. Listen, I can sit here and say Deshaun Watson is an absolute monster, but I can't sit here and say Deshaun Watson will fill a stadium like Tom Brady will. Deshaun Watson will fill a stadium like Aaron Rodgers does. Like when you think about, man, I want to go watch somebody play. I'm gonna be honest. As good as Deshaun Watson is, as good as Dak Prescott is, um, even as good as Ben Roethlisberger has been, he's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. Um, I can't say that I'm going to a game to see them. If I got a chance to see Brady, that's big time. If I got a chance to see Aaron Rodgers, that's big time. And everybody already know, if you got a chance to watch Patrick Mahomes up close, that's big time. So Jerry Jones was 100% right. And that's the league in general. It's inflation. Think about it. One player at a position gets paid X amount of money. And now we got to go pay the next guy close to or more, or I'm sorry, at or above whatever that salary is, even if they're not even 100% worth it. It's just because their contract came up. I don't know if y'all remember what I probably say 7, maybe 8 years ago. It was all these quarterbacks coming up, and every year the next one was set in the market. The next one was set in the market.
Yeah,
Um,
it was around
I
time that
remember Alex Smith. Yeah, Aaron
not
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers got it. Then you had Joe Flacco got it. Matt Ryan.
Matt
Yeah. So
Ryan got it. Yeah. So it was like that trickle effect, and it's like Matt Ryan ain't won the Super Bowl. He shouldn't be getting that much money, but hey, he was up in the rotation. So, and it was like all these Derek Carr got it. It was like they just kept looking at like, okay, what'd you get? I need at least a couple mil more than that. So that's why I say he's right. Everything that you do, you overpay. He overpaid Zeke, and look at what he's getting back from that. I'm not going to go into the receiver. I don't even want to say his name.
uh,
I don't even want to say his name.
say the man name. That man did.
I'm not saying this.
You if you don't say his name, I say it.
All I know is he stole $100 million from the Dallas Cowboys. So if Dak Prescott gets 160, I'd say, hey, listen, you get your 160, but that other dude stole $100 million from the Dallas Cowboys. Fabe, I throw it to you,
Man,
sir.
hold up. Man,
Nope.
that man did not
Nope.
steal nothing. They willed and deal to get that man, and they said, "Here, you worth this money, and let me give it to you." That man didn't steal nothing.
Jerry Jones overpaying again.
Hey man, that's the cost of doing business. If you want to be good, you got to pay. Go ask the Patriots. What where did they get not paying people? Ask the Steelers what
Uh,
them not paying
they
nobody. What
got
they get them?
they got 6 Super Bowls. The Steelers got 6 Super Bowls. Uh, Now, when that reign is over, you're absolutely right. It goes curtains because that money that you were given to keep some of that team together is now you hurting because those players don't work well with other quarterbacks or with other players in the system. But hey, all I gotta say, $100 million stolen, like a
So
thief in the night.
Wow.
so disrespectful. So disrespectful. Now that
The
man go,
player.
if y'all make it to the playoffs and that man carry y'all, you gonna be singing a different tune, just like Skip Bayless when he got on that taunt song. It's 4 more years, 4 more years. They're Prescott. And Prescott, we got four. And it's like, bro, shut up. You didn't want them to sign them. So you go ahead and say what you saying right now. But if he mess around and get y'all to the playoffs and y'all jump on his back and he carry y'all to the goal line and reach the ball out and score like Antonio Brown did, you're gonna be jumping up and down. Let's go. Good
He ain't
job.
going Dante. He's soft. He ain't gonna do that. Contact,
Wow.
contact come, contact come. He not catching the ball. If he's wide open, the player will catch the ball. If
He
he's
said the
covered
player.
or if he's about to get hit, the player will not catch the ball. He will not go up for contested catches. He will not make big time catches. And if the ball is not thrown in his vicinity and he has to go outside of himself, he will not be making the catch. The player stole $100 million. The
But
player.
you but you sound like what was the was it live or 2K when they put Jordan on there and it just said player 89?
The player.
Well, you terrible. Go ahead, Fave. I'm sorry to cut in your time, Fave. Go ahead.
No, you good, man. All I have is I cannot believe this. I've never ever seen this. You would think Dak was like some freaking backup unrestricted free agent. Like what did this man do to be such a redheaded stepchild? That's what I don't understand. Like who comes out and says I overpaid? Like how do you do that? How are you okay doing that? Like what confidence does that build in your team? Or I mean in your quarterback, I guess, which is such a
What
not
did
only
this man
skilled position but
say?
psychological position as well. So you saying that and you coming out like that, still showing that you're not still in 100% support. I don't know, man. I guess if I'm Dak, I'm happy. Whatever. I got your money, so now I can do whatever the hell I want. So I can go out there and stink it up, and you still gotta pay me. You can't cut me or whatever. Or well, whatever. I guess you could, but I'm sure there's still all these guarantees in there, and then that's still a cap hit. So I that's just my main thing. I don't understand what Dak did to be treated so differently as a quarterback. Like it's just weird to me.
Fabe, I'll say this, Dante, before you go. I will agree with you on the fact that I think that they should have got this deal done 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
On the other end of it, he overpaid for Tony Romo. Tony Romo was the top paid quarterback
But that
that
was his
could
boy.
not handle a big game.
That was
But
his
when he
boy.
got his contract, he was the top paid quarterback,
Yep.
overpaid bum, and did nothing. Listen, I love my Cowboys, and I'm always gonna love them, win or lose. They will not win a Super Bowl in the next 4 years of Dak's contract. But
Wow.
I'll root for him every single year. But they will not win. Jerry Jones can't do it. He's got to have his hand too far in the bucket. He got to put his opinion too far in the bucket. And the star is about money, not about wins. I still love him though.
So
The
it's
player.
the player. Yeah, Faye. I'm in the same boat as you, Faye, bro. I think that was very disrespectful. I thought it was uncalled for. You just sat there and signed your name on a dotted line and slid over a check, and then as you're doing that, saying, because for instance, like when you are when somebody says, "Hey, okay, we're going to pay you this much money," you're basically saying you're worth this. But then on the backhand, he's sitting here saying that you're not worth it. And so it's like, well, who's the fool then? Is it you? Because you just paid somebody all of this money and you don't even think he's worth it. So the shame on you, buddy. Like you, the joke. The joke's on you, not on Dak. And if I was Dak, I'd be like, I probably would have got up and walked away. Like, bro, you serious? Like that's what we on? And you said you don't understand why Dak it gets treated like a redhead stepchild. It's because I don't think Jerry Jones really wanted Dak to ever come in and take over and be his quarterback. He always wanted Romo, which Romo couldn't. He couldn't buy a win in the playoffs. Like he just couldn't. He couldn't take somebody out for a steak dinner to get a win. Period. Like he just couldn't get it done. But that's who he wanted. That's who he wanted his quarterback to be. He wanted the quarterback to be Tony Romo for whatever reason. I'm not saying Romo wasn't a good quarterback, but I mean he was average. He was an average. He was an average quarterback. But he for whatever reason he did not want, and he doesn't want Dak. And then, but on the other hand, he knows that he has no choice but to pay the man because he's like, oh my gosh, if I don't pay this man and we have to start over at this quarterback position, who am I going to get? It's like playing Russian roulette. You don't know what you're going to get, and so it would have been better for him to just say, you know what, we got the guy we wanted, and we're satisfied because now moving forward, when it does work out, or if it doesn't work out, it's almost kind of like he's gonna have like that card in his back pocket to be pulled out and like, hey, I told you, hey, it wasn't gonna work, kind of thing or whatever. So I think it was definitely a slap in the face to Dak Prescott, and and to be the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and for you to go down that rabbit hole and make a comment like that, and basically kind of sound like you didn't really want to pay him anyways, and you don't think it was a good situation, but you're going to pay him anyways. So I just look at the organization now and I'm just like, whoa, good gracious, where are you guys going moving forward? Because you sound like you don't even know what you're going to do.
So I got you if you're listening to that piece, but you got to hear the back end of it that changes everything. So as he's talking, he talked about overpaying, but then he said, anytime that I tried to get a bargain, I got just that. It was a bargain in a lot of ways and not up to standard. So my thought, he tried to get Andy Dalton in the hopes that Andy Dalton was going to take the place. And you saw what happened when Dak went down and Andy Dalton had to come in. Boo-boo. So he tried to slide. Think about what happened with Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith, he didn't want to give him the deal. So he was just relying on what he had. They lost the first two games. I got to give him the money now. So if you just hear that punchline, I got you. But then when I hear that second part, he's basically validating, I did overpay, and that's what I do, because when I try to get something lesser, that's what I just get. A devalued person.
Nah, man. He's a slick talker. He's good with the press. He know what to say, how to say it. All he did was he saw some doo-doo on the side of the road, and he tried to pick it up and say, well, look, it got sprinklers on it though, but it's still doo-doo. That's all he did. I ain't trying to hear that. Nah, you slapped that man in the face and you basically just said you ain't really worth it, and then you try to sprinkle some other stuff on there and make it sound better and make the and trying to you put the man down. Now you trying to lift him up. Nah, get out of here with that. You was out here
Hey,
trying to
man.
do something in the hand. That's it. Like
Hey, whether he
it,
was forced or not, Dak Prescott got his money, which means the Dallas Cowboys is going to be above average, above average, above average. Um, I listen. Their defense can't be no worse, so it's got to get at least better. Um, the head coach, on the other hand, I don't think he can get much better, but we'll see. I digress.
Fade. Last comments.
No, I ain't got nothing with that, man.
All right, cool. All right, man. So this next question, man. See, hey, listen. This is why we say please drop comments in the comment section. If you want to hear us talk about something, you want to get our opinion on what we think about something, leave it in the comments. This next question coming from my boy Marcus White. So his question was, who is the best quarterback in the '90s era? So basically, in the '90s, who's the best quarterback? Who
And we're
y'all
talking about
got?
college, right?
College. Who's the best college quarterback in the '90s era? Appreciate you, Jarrell.
Fade, go ahead and take this one off, man.
Oh man, there is a list of names, man, on this group, but for me, who I'm going to go with is Mr. Michael Vick.
Oh, okay.
So I know, he didn't when he got to the pros and stuff like that, he did amazing. But I feel I'm picking him. I guess it's not fair because I'm coupling it with the pros, but I don't care. So, you have somebody who revolutionized the game, who actually made an impact. Think of like your Steph Currys, who revolutionized the 3-point shot and things like that. Like Michael Vick to me was a little bit ahead of his time in a sense that now you have every single quarterback now. Like that's all they're looking for is running quarterbacks, and it was a thought that it was something that would never work. Yet here you have living, breathing proof on just about damn near every team of how a running quarterback can get you to be successful. I know unless you're Tom Brady, but you got to have a good defense with that. So, anywho, I still believe Michael Vick is one of the best of the '90s just because of the impact. That's the main thing to me. He had a major lasting impact that I think I don't know if any quarterback, especially with his running abilities, will ever come out. I don't know. Would you say your boy with Baltimore's close?
Lamar Jackson's close, but I also think he's a after the fact. I think Michael Vick was a before.
Yeah, and I feel like Michael Vick, if he probably would have studied the game, which he has admitted. If anybody's like watched interviews, he's admitted he didn't study the game how he should have. He had an arm, like he
Oh yeah, he did.
had a cannon, and
He
I
did.
think if he would have coupled with actually studying the game instead of just relying on his natural God given ability, that he probably could have walked away with some rings, for sure.
I agree.
But that's who I got, Mr. Michael Vick.
Wow, man. So this was extremely hard.
I agree.
Um, just to give you guys some of our viewers, in case you guys don't know a lot of the big names, you got like Peyton Manning played during that era, Drew Brees, Charlie Ward, Drew Bledsoe, Steve McNair, Steve Young, Donovan McNabb. So
Got
you
you.
got guys like that. And I think Fabe, you kind of hit it right on, and I was almost about to pick Vic, and then I had to go to who I think is the GOAT of all time, Peyton Manning.
Mm.
Peyton Manning. So came in and started, I think, 8 games as a freshman. Had a almost what 12 12,000 yards passing, 89 touchdown passes. Now he was a Heisman runner-up, never won the Heisman, but 40-5 as a starter. Came in as the highest grade as a quarterback and actually played pretty darn well and ended his NFL career with some Super Bowl wins. So when I'm looking at the best of the best, Michael Vick, I think, set and brought in a new type of quarterback. I think Peyton Manning was in a class of his own when it comes to quarterback play. I think you took traditional quarterbacks, and it's like traditional, and then there's Peyton, who, to me, I would say when Andrew Luck was coming out, and everybody's like, this dude, you can't miss, da 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 da.
Yeah.
That was Peyton Manning, but Peyton Manning backed it up. Think about the career he had at the Indianapolis Colts. Think about the 10-win seasons he's had, the playoff success. Mind you, he was playing against Tom Brady, or should I say Bill Belichick's defenses, but we're not going to talk about that. Peyton Manning, best quarterback of the 90s.
Wow. Okay. Well, man, as you said, Jarrell, man, it's a bunch of cats in there. Me being a Florida State guy, Charlie Ward actually dated my auntie as well from Georgia, man. It's a lot of cats in there, but I'm gonna go with Tommy Frazier. So, just to give you, I'm sure if you're from the Bradenton area, you know who Tommy Frazier is. Born and raised in Bradenton, went to Manatee Fabian High School, went to Nebraska. Guy won 2 national championships. Um, you guys talked about Michael Vick being basically that guy that kind of transcend, and but he was doing that way before Mike Vick did. They basically ran the option. They ran the option at Nebraska. He ended up beating, I think it was Miami, and I think I can't remember the other school, but won 2 national championships in his 4 years of playing college football. He was 33-3. That is amazing. I'm trying to think of any other quarterback that won more than 2 national championships in that era, and I can't think of any. And so I think his last season or whatever, he rushed for over 800 some yards, 16 touchdowns, and then he also threw for like 1,400 yards. He ended up getting hurt, and that's what kind of sidelined his career a little bit. And if he didn't get hurt, man, he probably could have went on to the NFL and did some amazing things. But that's who I'm picking, man. Tommy Frazier is the best quarterback in the 90s era.
Okay. I got you.
What we got, man? What we got, Fade? Anybody got some comments?
No, I can't see them on your guys' end. We don't have none in YouTube.
Okay. What you got, Jarrell?
Not necessarily a question. Mr. Sherrod says Steve McNair was amazing. Yeah. And
yeah.
I totally skipped over Steve the Air McNair. Rest in peace, man. But yeah, wow.
I think for him or whatever, he was definitely a good quarterback. I would say not that he wasn't good in college, but because he played at HBCU. So and not a lot of people, he wasn't playing against the top teams and stuff like that. But definitely when he got to the league, yeah, he was that dude.
Hmm. So, listen, this is, unless I see, I'm double checking so I don't miss anything this time. Um, so basketball's coming back, fellas. Um, we talked about a little bit last week and the weight that is held um, when it comes to regular season. If you're the Lakers and you're Brooklyn, obviously the Lakers with AD and Brooklyn with KD, um, are you just allowing those guys to just sit back and rest as long as you can to ensure their health? Or do you want them back at some point before the playoffs start to kind of help build continuity with the team that they have? Now, mind you, the Lakers basically have a lot of moving pieces from last year to this year, which is why I'm asking that question.
I would say, yeah, man. I want them to try to get back on the court because the thing is kind of like what we talked about before, with the NFL, you not playing a lot of games and then now you start the season and now you got all these injuries because you haven't been playing. And so, if they if they rested up and then they waited to start trying to get into the start playing in the postseason, so then now you got to worry about conditioning because if you're not running, even I mean, for instance, like even if they are running and doing certain things or whatever, it's totally different from basketball because you can't emulate all the stuff that you can do on the basketball court. So like for instance, like somebody leaning on you while you trying to get a rebound, that kind of stuff. Like you can run up and down the court, you can put weight on you and use resistance and stuff like that. But it's some things that you just have to play. And so I would definitely just from that point, the conditioning standpoint, I definitely want them on the court. And then, like you said, if with especially like the Lakers, you got a bunch of cats that that's not used to playing with each other. So then now when you get in the playoffs and now you trying to count on somebody, now you may not even be you may be like, man, shoot, I don't even know what he gonna do. And you may not have confidence in them. So I would definitely say that. And then for the Nets, I mean, yeah, KD definitely needs to, but at the same time, man, free. They got they just an offensive. I don't even know what the word used, but they just ridiculous on offense, man. So KD, when he come back, hey, I think they're gonna be fine. Because for the most part, all three of them been playing with each other basically for a while now. Because KD played with Harden when when they first came in the league, and then now Harden has been playing with your boy Kyrie,
Kyrie? Yeah.
and so now they're starting to get on the same page. And I think once he gets in there, so now it's just going to be that missing piece or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be a fall off. But yes, so answer your question. Yes, they need to get back on the court before the playoffs.
Fade?
I'll say mine short and sweet. They're all professionals. I get continuity can help, but they don't really play into the playoffs any damn way. So in the end, I think they'd be fine until, especially the first round. Maybe at like first round or whatever, like they can fumble through that. Even the good teams fumble through that. They'll end up going 7 rounds with a team that they don't need to because they fumbling around. Um, but I think if they can at least get through the first round together, I think anybody will be fine.
And to sum this up, it don't matter. It don't matter. I'm I'm looking at it, if now it all depends on the injury. If the injury is lingering and you're not 100%, I'm not bringing you back until the playoffs. If it's something that you're 100%, then you're right. I'm trying to build that continuity. But at the end of the day, looking at both of these teams, I, I'm sitting you as long as I can because we already know what the Nets. Again, it's the East. It goes back to the LeBron thing that the East isn't strong. So Kyrie and Harden can get it done with the Nets, in my opinion, in at least a first round, if you needed them. So I don't need KD to carry my team, but what I need KD to do is be there when money's down. Now, this is going to be a drop the mic last question. I love this. It came from Sherrod. What are your thoughts on the NBA changing the logo to Kobe? That's the talk right now. That's the talk.
Wow.
See, that's hard because I look at it and I say, well, I would say like Kobe was a phenomenal player. I can't take anything from him. Like phenomenal. Um, when he was on top, bro, he was on top. Just like any great player. Um, but even like I'm thinking about it, like even at the height of his career, he still wasn't better than Jordan, and he wasn't better than LeBron. So I look at it and I say, well, how can you do that? So that's where I'm at. But I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be like, nah, that's ridiculous. But I'm looking at it and I'm just like, yeah, Kobe is when he like I said, when he was playing, he was on top. He was that dude. But when you start to look at all the numbers and stuff like that, he didn't win more championships than Jordan. Um, he's not the number one scorer. You know, LeBron is basically about to pass everybody and rebounds, assists, and all that stuff. So if anybody's gonna get it, it should probably be LeBron because he has made probably the biggest impact on basketball.
Mm. Bless you. Babe, you got something for us?
Yeah, don't I don't necessarily either agree with that because I get Kobe's good. He is one of the greats. I just like he says, I don't think he had that big of an impact. And I don't know, gosh man, not trying to speak ill of the dead. Like, was he really that liked? You know, when he was, it didn't seem to me. I don't know. It didn't seem like it. Obviously, everybody respected his game and all of his many accomplishments. But it almost seems like, because he's gone, it's like, oh, you're trying to, I don't know, award him things or whatever. I'm not trying to come off mean, and I'm not sure if I'm framing it right, but I don't know. Yeah, I just don't agree because I just don't think he had that kind of impact. Very good player, just I don't think he had that kind of impact.
Yeah. So February 25th, Jerry West came out and said that he would be okay if Kobe Bryant replaced him as the logo. So this one's hard for me, like it's hard for you guys. Um, there's always going to be a next great, a next great, a next great, a next great, and I think it's Jerry West wasn't the best player ever to put it on, but I think it's the laziness. I mean, not the laziness, the legacy um, that he was, and which is why he was on there. But for that, Jordan's the logo. Kobe, in my opinion, is the trophy LeBron James will be the MVP trophy every year. I know there's a lot of people on Mount Rushmore. I know there's a lot of great players. But to me, LeBron's better than Jordan. LeBron is the greatest player. But the legend of Michael Jordan and what he did for basketball in that time, he turned it into an international love. Jordan is the logo, just like his shoe. Kobe Bryant is the Larry O'Brien championship trophy. And LeBron James is the MVP trophy when he decides to step away. That's just how I got it. I mean, I'm not disrespecting anybody, I don't think. I just look at it in pecking order, and Jordan will go down from when he played to me, to my kids, to my kids' kids. I'll always talk about what Jordan did. People now are going to start talking about what LeBron did. But to me, the legacy of Jordan, hands down. Hands down.
Well said. Yeah, that's a tough question right there, man.
Man, thank you, Sherrod, for that question. Great, great, great question. That's, whew, if they change it again, I'm like Dante. I'm not going to be mad if they change it because of the tragic passing of Kobe. But I think we all know Jordan did much more for basketball than what Kobe did. But Kobe's mentality in basketball was the closest thing that you'll find to Jordan. Absolutely. 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 And to me, that's why I say LeBron will be the best, because they had an I mentality. LeBron has a we mentality. And to me, when I'm looking at a team sport, it's not just about I can get my shot, but can I get somebody else to get their shot? The documentary was so amazing that they did of Jordan, but the biggest takeaway that I learned is Jordan in the beginning didn't care about his team. He cared about I was getting mine until a coach came along and Phil Jackson and taught him what it meant to have your team involved. And then he evolved to the Jordan that we know. LeBron came into the league and didn't need a coach to show him the type of player that he needed to be. He cared from day one that I'm going to get my teammates involved. He did it in high school. So when I look at it, hey man, I got to keep it real. I got to keep it real. So on that, man, next Friday, we going to be on this thing. But we appreciate everybody. If you haven't gotten a chance, please go over to our YouTube page. Check that out. All of our videos from the past are on there. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you get notified when we go live. Like our Facebook page, The Deep Third. So I'm Jarrell. I know my man Fabe ain't on there on the camera, but for all of us, to all of you, we appreciate you. Faber, Dante, you got anything as we walk out of here?
Hey man, appreciate you guys watching. As Jarrell said, man, please go like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And hey man, we'll be here next Friday at 9 o'clock. Get ready, get that pressure. Let's go.
Sneak peek, we got another top 10 coming next week, but we ain't gonna say what it is. Fabe, you got anything?
All right,
Run it up.
everybody. That'll do it for this show. Thank you all for tuning in. We will catch you next week.
See ya.